Okay, so finally back to another uh, building or the Spotify app. So last we just made the basic layout for showing all the songs or the playlist. So everything that we had to show. We were going to work on the actual view more button, but didn't quite get the time to do it. So today that's the main focus. We click on view more button, it goes to the details page, and then yeah, and we'll get all the data. So if we go back to our thing, the thing we're going to use here, let me open another terminal. Okay, we will need this only for the front end, so we'll say client, and in here you need to install React router DOM. So we'll say npm I React router DOM. We wait for that to load up. Should be pretty quick. I had it already installed as well. I don't know why I had to do it again. But here we are. So that should have worked anyway. So what we need to do is first go into the index page, which is defined up here by index.txt. So once you're in this page, what you want to do is import browser router. So we'll say import browser router. There we go. You import browser router from the React DOM, and what we are going to do is wrap our whole app inside this browser router. So that's where all of our routes come from, right? So we'll say browser router. That's fine. Just move this app up, and so that's all we need to do in this page. And if we go into so let's import the things we need. So we'll say import. So what we need is root, and we need roots. I should have just done it. There we go. And from the DOM, and we also need roots with the S. And all we're going to say is inside here, inside this div, we are going to create the roots, right? Actually, under here, we're going to create the roots. So what I'm going to say is we have the roots up here. That's roots. And what I can do is push this. Not yet. So I have one root. So we're going to say we're going to write all of our roots in here. So we have the roots thing, and inside here we're going to have a single root, and each of the root will take an element, which is going to be the component that we want to display. So we'll say that, and that component that we want to display is this div tag, right? And there's also one more thing that I forgot to write, but we'll come back to that in a sec. So I'll just line it up first, make it look nice and neat. There we go. And what the root also needs is the path. So we'll say when we are at our 3000 or like the main page, we are going to load this component or this page. There we go. And we're also going to create another root, and we'll say path, and when we go into, let's say, /detail, for now, and we'll say element equals to something. And this time around, what we want to do is to actually get our display all component. So we'll say in here, we'll say display all, and our display all takes in the title, which will for now, let's say your I don't know, all tracks, and then the data, which is simply going to be top tracks data, and that should be fine. There's one more thing we need to do, which is to, for our buttons, when we click on the buttons, we want to go to those paths, right? So if we go into our section, so in our section we want the link, so we'll say link, and from the React router DOM we'll import links. So links are basically almost the same as the anchor tags, the A tags. However, they do not cause the page to re-render and reload, so they are much more faster. This happens through like a client server rendering, I think. But anyway, so in our button, what we're going to do is wrap our button inside the link. Here we go. And our link takes in 2, which is basically the source where we want to go to, and we want it to go to /details, right? Okay, that should be about fine. Is our server still running? Yep. Okay, wait, let me go back. Let's get our data. So okay, that's what we had defined before. So if we go down now, we can say top artists, and it shows us all the artists inside this detail page, right? Let's go back and remove this from up here, because there is no point of having that anymore. So go back to the app, and where did I define that? I defined it inside here. Here we go. So this is looking much more nicer, much more better now. And once we can, now it will just go into details with all the tracks right now, because that is the data we are passing it right now. It's fixed, but we are going to make it a little more dynamic. And there are 2 ways I'm thinking of doing this. I don't know exactly which way I want to go with. Firstly, will be just the easiest way will be to redefine this URL. So instead of just saying details, we can say artist details or playlist details, and then all we will really need to do is change this path up here, and then pass in different data into our display all. So that's the easiest way. Another way might be to pass some kind of code or reference inside our details root, and it will extract it from there, and then it'll display that within the details page somehow. So those are the 2 ways, but that's we will explore this up here as we go, I guess. But our main one is working. The layout looks very funky at the moment, but I think I will only think about that once we are done with all the view more page up here, and then getting the correct data, then we can actually think about. So well, after some considerations, I've decided to go the route of actually having different routes for different view more, for like different play. If it's a playlist, then it has its own route. If it's an artist, it has its own route, and if it's tracks, it has its own routes. And based on that, we will decide what kind of data that we want to show. So if we go back to the VS Code, so here, so first thing what we need to do is make sure we know what kind of data that we're receiving, right? So what I'll say is inside my section props, we will say data type, and that will simply take in a string. So it'll either take in playlist, artist, or whatever. It's going to be an error for now. And what I want to do is, instead of going to /details, I want to go into whatever this data type is, right? So what I'm going to say here is, instead of saying details, I say slash plus what did I call it? So it's this data type, props.data type. So that's the endpoint that we will try to get. And then within the app, so we will need to pass in our data type. So what we will say up here is, let me actually do this, right? Much easier then. Data type, and what we're going to pass is going to depend on the type of the data. So here the section is displaying playlist, so we'll say playlist, and here is artist, so we'll say artists, and here it is tracks, so we'll say tracks. This will make it much more easier than any other way we were considering. What else do I need to change here? Anything else? So here, so we will duplicate this for now. So we need 3, right? So we don't want to go to slash details. Instead we want to go on a different path, and that path is dependent. So if I say dot slash playlist, and then I got artists and I got tracks. So these are the paths that we can get, the routes that we can go into. And then given the route, we will also say different things. So instead we're not going to show the top tracks data, we're going to show the top playlist data, right? Oh no, it wouldn't be top playlist, it'll just be playlist data. Artist, and we don't want to show top tracks, we want to show top artist data, right? And then if we reload that, that should be working. So here we are. So if we click on view more, here you go, we got all the playlists. If we go on top artists, then we got all the top artists. And if we go on top tracks, we got all the tracks, right? It's looking very funky right now. That will be working on some point, but I think for the next video what we'll focus on is this. So given 6 months, 1 month, whatever, we will show the right type of data for the given month. I guess for the playlist we didn't even really need this, because how is your playlist really gonna change within 1 month or like the time frame? But the artists should change, so we will say different artists for given our different times. I don't even know what time frame that we're accessing right now is the default sent by Spotify, so I need to check that what time frame the default is, and then we will change it. So see you in the next vid.